When they get the chance, when there's a chink in the armour of the opposition, they take it nearly every time.
Well, there's the reception for the Irish team. I think it's safe to say that was quite loud.
Well, I did actually have to check with Clive to see whether his heart was in good working order before we took up the standing position.
A few words about tactics, because the preamble at internationals here obviously goes on a lot longer than it does in many other places because of introduced to the president and things like that, so we've still got time to talk. Everybody has their opinions about, in a match like this, how you go out and approach playing the All Blacks. And then there's the very distinguished Irish international in one of the papers this morning saying that he felt in the first 10 minutes the thing was to unsettle them by doing something they simply wouldn't expect. Whether it was going to be throw a very unusual line out, whether to do some ludicrous move in the backs, just to make them think, hang on a moment, we weren't expecting that.
I don't want to get kind of caught up in gimmicks or elements like that. I mean, there's one thing with a guarantee, and bearing in mind we've never beaten New Zealand, so it's very hard, and any experience I have, unfortunately, is flawed by that fact. But you have to meet it with a full level of intensity. Without it, they can actually tear you asunder.
I think, John, also to understand, this New Zealand team is going to score tries. They're going to score at least 4 or 5 tries, so you've got to put a game plan on there. You absolutely have to score tries. You're not going to beat this. It's not going to be a low-scoring game. So you have to really work out how you can score tries against this game. England last week scored 1 try to a driving line-out. We should have kept going to there, and I think there's real opportunities to do that. And Ireland got a chance today, but they've got a game plan to score tries.
There's the President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, and he's accompanied by the President of the Irish Rugby Union, Pat Fitzgerald, and they'll be introduced to all the players. While they're doing that, let's have a quick word with our wise owls up in the commentary box. I think we can see, can we see the...
Hello? Can anybody...
Brian, you played against the All Blacks, and you beat the All Blacks. So how do you do it?
Well, you just have to make the intensity match theirs, and then when you get... I mean, it is so simple and trite that it's almost not worth saying, but you just have to be more accurate. England last week, they made as many carries over the gain line as anyone has done in the last year against the All Blacks, and still the All Blacks ended up scoring 3 tries. And if you allow that to happen, then you are going to be on the wrong end of the result. In one way, it's very simple as an aim, but it's very difficult to achieve.
Probably ought to say as well that the All Blacks are big, but they're not actually that big. The President of Ireland is actually not that tall, which is probably exaggerates the differential in height there. Philip Matthews, afternoon to you. How do you view this afternoon, with a measure of trepidation or perhaps a bit of hope too?
Well, I think Joe Schmidt looks at it with a measure of trepidation as well. His comment to Sonia was, you know, needing that little bit of luck, and he's absolutely right as well in terms of the intensity is needed, but also the head, because if Ireland, particularly in defence, don't have the intensity but don't have the organisation, they could be cut apart very, very early. And in attack, as Brian has said, we've got to be ambitious in attack. But I think the thing that interests me and impresses me most about this New Zealand team is their ability in the contact situation. They run with the ball in 2 hands because they're looking for the offload, and the supporting players are running lines confident that the offload is going to come. We've seen that from the likes of Kieran Reid. So watch that today. If Irish players are going into contact, just looking to go into ground, that's the rock in which their attack will perish. They've got to go for offloads today, Ireland, if they're going to get in behind and break this All Black defence.
And a brave decision to play Johnny Sexton, assuming that he's fit, but we won't know until, you know, the first ball is played quite how fit he is.
Well, Schmidt trusts him, and he wants a man who he knows can deliver on a big occasion to do it, and so he is held out for the last minute. We watched him doing a fitness test here at the very end, you know, which is a big gamble.
Clive, thoughts overall?
Thoughts overall? Oh, first of all, wonderful day, great day for rugby. I just really hope Ireland go out and surprise the New Zealand team by the way they're going to play. So, for example, instead of kick your goals, go for lineouts, go for scrums, go for the attack, try and score tries and try and outscore them, and we could be in for a fantastic day.
Well, if this is going to be a day of Irish sporting history when Ireland beat the All Blacks for the first time, it will be described for you by Eddie Battler after the anthems.
Well, the crowd have responded, and Joe Schmidt has not responded to the calls for changes. It's the same Irish pack, but a different temperature has been ordered, and things have got considerably more heated already here at the Aviva Stadium. Behind the scrum, Gordon Darcy back into the midfield, the Carney brothers on the wing and at fullback. The formidable All Blacks. A late change. Brodie Retallick comes into the second row. Luke Romano is out. Richie McCaw will captain from the back row and behind the scrum. Well, there's so much talent there, just the merest whiff of a chance and they will be away. The All Blacks have their own way of raising their core temperature. Brian O'Driscoll, can he beat the All Blacks for the first time? Can Ireland for the first time ever beat the All Blacks? 26 losses, 1 draw, and this team played 13, won 13 this year. Good afternoon, Philip Matthews.
Good afternoon, Eddie. And I just looking at those Irish faces facing that haka, I could see a lot of emotion in this Irish team. Cian Healy has spoken quite a lot during the week. There's an awful lot of emotion there, so there'll be no shortage of passion.
Can you feel the heat, Brian?
Well, you can, and Ireland actually have more starting caps, so they have the experience on the field. Whether or not that translates into the sort of performance that's needed remains to be seen, but let's look forward at least to a cracking test match.
Today's referee, Nigel Owens of Wales. Aaron Cruden wears the number 10 shirt. There was a time when life without Dan Carter was deemed impossible for the All Blacks. Not now. Aaron Cruden has come in and played exceptionally well. Tommy Bowe gets Ireland underway. Conor Murray arrives quickly at scrum half. Johnny Sexton, Paul O'Connell. Rob Kearney. O'Connell again. The All Blacks have earned themselves a turnover. Aaron Smith, their scrum half. Cruden. Israel Dag, scragged down by Devon Toner and Dave Kearney. Penalty goes Ireland's way.
A little bit of afters. Something and nothing. But it certainly fired the crowd up.
Well, Ireland showing intent from the off there. Paul O'Connell coming to making that late run, but he was given the ball way too deep. And New Zealand nearly closed that down and got the turnout. They're going to have to do an awful lot of that at pace, but on the gain line. If they're doing that far too deep, they're just going to set themselves up for the turnover.
Good little stab forward from the penalty by Johnny Sexton. There are concerns about his hamstring. Israel Dag hasn't scored tries this year, but such a threat from fullback. Rory Best to throw. Paul O'Connell safely down to Conor Murray. Richie McCaw makes the tackle. Cian Healy to Sean O'Brien. Jamie Heaslip tackled by his opposite number, Kieran Reid. The bearded Gordon Darcy. The very bearded Gordon Darcy. Rob Kearney. held up, drive, gets him going forward and to ground. It is there for Murray. Devon Toner. Darcy to O'Driscoll, came off New Zealand, and that is good, promising play. It's a knock-on, we'll have a scrummage.
Well, Ireland have the confidence to take the ball through phases. They just need to be closer to the game line to make sure they get over quicker and get the requisite numbers in to win quick ball. Paul O'Connell there. Oh, the fine margins, aren't they, Philip? You know, that was a good line-out win, but it was just slightly too far outside the scrum half's reach. Had to spoke a little bit, which slowed everything down. You need to be precise in everything, and here is another aspect which, let's face it, is open to interpretation.
Yeah, as last week against Australia, the Irish scrum was not coordinated. They weren't making that hit as a solidate. They really need to do that and pay a lot more respect to the New Zealand scrum if they're going to get parity.
Bind. Set. Yes, 9.
Good strike, good scrum by Ireland.
Play on, play on, play on.
Dave Carney.
No interference. Release.
Keane Healy. Charge against Sam Whitelock. Devon Toner, his charge. Ireland present the ball well. Jamie Heaslip takes on Aaron Cruden, gets through the outside half. Peter O'Mahony. Conor Murray, is he down? What a start it would be for Ireland. Jerome Garces advises Nigel Owens, but we're going upstairs. Graham Hughes, the television match official.
Question yes or no. Therefore, he's going to have to find something. Well, that's down. That's a try. And that's a fantastic start by Ireland. Oh. Philip, well, as a neutral, what do you say?
There was a hint of a knock on there. Does the ball hit the ground?
It does. I didn't see from the other angle. I didn't see this. It looks as though it's just come out.
I think that might have been knocked on. I think the ball has come out of Conor Murray's grasp, hit the ground, and then he's got the pressure.
Well, a good job we're both wrong.
Well, we needed that one. That was a great phase that Ireland went through. They really got themselves on the front foot, and role reversal. New Zealand defence very static, very much on the back foot, and allowing Ireland to bust the contact zone.
The decision that mattered, Graham Hughes. The try is awarded, and here is Johnny Sexton, and the giant roar gives way to the famed Aviva Stadium hush. Back up goes the volume. Ireland 7-0 in front.
Well, you couldn't start any better, and the great thing from an Irish perspective was that was a try that was taken. It was worked, it was well worked, wasn't from a mistake, it wasn't from poor defence, it was from physical direct play and good quick ball.
Just look, the backward step. Sean O'Brien runs into Ben Smith, and Ben Smith is driven backwards in the tackle. That keeps the momentum going. All Blacks have been driving people back heretofore. They're going to need to change that.
Devon Toner couldn't take the restart. Stephen Luatua. Cruden gets through Jamie Heaslip's tackle. Nono. Aaron Smith, Israel Daggs puts it through, and well, they are so good at turning the half chance into a try that Ireland might have some relief at only a line out.
Well, having not taken the restart, Ireland will be thankful that the All Blacks didn't finish that off, and they have an opportunity for a very crucial throw and catch here. But what they really can't afford to do is give points away immediately after taking, a 7-point lead.
Rory Best finds Paul O'Connell. Here's Sean O'Brien. In attack and now in defence, Ireland are having a fantastic start. That's not gone very far from Conor Murray, but it's back safely in green hands. Toner, Johnny Sexton, Brian O'Driscoll. Dave Carney does well to get that ball into touch.
Well, the idea was nice, but the execution wasn't really there. New Zealand had the numbers out, there wasn't much on. I think Carney, had he got that, would have put boot to ball, and there was plenty of space behind. But again, New Zealand making the breakthrough through that wonderful little pass through the tackle from Aaron Cruden. That's what put Manu Nonu through. Ireland are going to have to be wise to that.
Andrew Hoare to throw into this line-out. Luatua takes it. Richie McCaw on the front peel. Charlie Fa'umoina, the prop. Aaron Smith, tackled by Sean O'Brien. Inches now from the line, the All Blacks.
Hands away, it's a rat back. Back.
Cruden, Nonu. Brian O'Driscoll tracked him well. Paul O'Connell comes flying in. Referee waves play on. Turnover for Ireland. It's as good as scoring tries as Johnny Sexton fires it down to halfway. Israel Dag. Heaslip this time does make a tackle. Conor Murray. That's a good kick behind Corey Jane. Aaron Cruden. And Ireland are back in New Zealand territory.
Well, there was a huge roar there for the Irish effort, but what they should be roaring at is the work that was done in and around this tackle. Nonu brings 3 players in, and just watch here, it's the first man who's in, it's O'Driscoll, and then that's a crucial part there because it slowed down the ball sufficiently for players to come in behind and then turn the ball over. A very timious intervention by Brian O'Driscoll.
Ireland collect themselves before this line-out. O'Connell gets fingers to it, straight down. Heaslip in midfield. Rory Best. Cian Healy back to Best. Game of continuity by Ireland. Heaslip goes back against the flow. Pauses. Goes straight again. Sean O'Brien! Great pass to Conor Murray! Murray hauled down 2 metres short. Good Darcy Waits. Sean O'Brien again. Murray. Rory Best. The dummy. Try for the Ulster hooker. What a start by Ireland.
Oh, I'm glad for Sean O'Brien's sake that Ireland got over the line there. They had a huge overlap going left. But they're busting the breakdown. They're now getting the ball away in the contact area quickly. And this New Zealand defence is on the back foot. It's static. It's not meeting the Irish defence at all.
Well, that move there is the unexpected that people were talking about. Wrap around, loop from a prop to a hooker. And what's been impressive about the Ireland effort thus far has been the fact that when they've got behind the gain line, they've managed to get men in and get quick ball. It's not been slowed down. The All Blacks have not been able to reorganise properly, and Ireland have taken the chances. Very impressive.
The challenge for Ireland here is they've got to keep this level of intensity up. They cannot start to think, sit back and stop taking those risks. They've got to keep going like this.
Well, look, there will be a point when the All Blacks come into the game and they'll have successive things, and you know, Ireland just have to keep that, especially after scoring. Don't give a silly penalty away. Don't give any opportunity. Make New Zealand work for everything.
We'll keep an eye on the next one.
Giant glass wall of the Aviva Stadium, and between the posts, Ireland lead 14 points to 0, 2 converted tries. New Zealand have been rocked by the ferocity and the skill level of this Irish start.
But Jamie, he's been particularly prominent, making the gain line and getting beyond the gain line, really getting this Irish attack going forward.
Cruden towards Devon Toner. Toner fingertips to it.
Off green here. Line out or scrum?
Andrew Hall dries the ball. Richie McCaw having chosen the line out.
That's good. It's easy to move you, so you take a step. Good man. Stay green.
Long throw, well taken by Kieran Reid. Ma'a Nonu at Johnny Sexton, who stays down after the hit. Ben Smith, candidate for Player of the Year. Cian Healy makes the tackle. Aaron Cruden. Sean O'Brien hauls him back. Luatua. Ma'a Nonu. Mike Ross with the tackle. Ben Smith, candidate for World Player of the Year. Ireland away, come away with it yet again. Tommy Bowe, did that go forward? Play on, says the referee. Ireland have stolen ball again in their 22, and away they come through Gordon Darcy. Long to Sexton. Little stab through Sexton. Play on, says Nigel Owens. Cruden. Tommy Bowe watches it go into touch.
One thing was interesting, the All Blacks had extra numbers on the left when they moved there. It wasn't quite, that's subsequent to what I'm going to describe now, it wasn't quite the rush defence, but Brian O'Driscoll was up in front of his inside backs, and that closed off the option, forced New Zealand back inside, whereupon the tackle was made and O'Driscoll did more defensive work.
Time out,
Nigel Owens stops play. Rory Best is having attention. Here he is, the hooker, try scorer. That looks sad. Shake of the head.
Looks, the body language says it all, really, in Rory Best, doesn't it? I don't think he's going to be continuing this afternoon.
Sean Cronin already poised to come on. Well, while he was on, what a quarter an hour for Rory Best, and how sad it is to see him go.
And the Irish must hope that that doesn't stall their momentum, because the line-up was working well. He made the obvious contributions in the loose, but it's right at this phase, the set phases, which are absolutely crucial.
Time on.
Here is the new man, Sean Cronin. Devon Toner safely found. Sean O'Brien, and this has worked well for Ireland.
Okay now. Still moving.
And moving well. Richie McCaw.
Is offside, but not pulled.
Penalty advantage to Ireland. Well, Ireland can do no wrong at the moment.
The best thing about this is not just the technical discipline which they are showing, and they're driving them properly, is the intent. It's the ambition to do that and say, right, we'll set our stall out. You know, we don't care that you've got the reputation that you have. We're going to do this, and we're going to do it successfully.
Absolutely, and that's a real indication that Richie McCaw in desperation. I mean, not only coming from the side, it was the back of the side, wasn't it? It was, and that's something that Nigel Owens really just had to think. That will have marked New Zealand's card. They're going to have to be mindful of that. If Ireland can maintain that momentum up front, penalties will start to come.
It's a great penalty coming in the back of the side. Second job.
Stay inside over, okay?
For Sean Cronin. Paul O'Connell this time. Conor Murray waited for Cronin, but it's gone the other way.
Grant is black.
Andrew Hall, the hooker.
Vantage over.
Cruden to Ma'anonu. Johnny Sexton does enough just to bring the centre down. Cruden through the gap. Gordon Darcy cut off the pass, but here goes Aaron Smith. Sean O'Brien does well. Had to spin and fly. Cruden. Israel Dag lets it on. And away comes Rob Kearney. Keegan Reid is not going to catch him. Rob Kearney for Ireland. His brother Dave is arriving now. What a celebration. What a game by the Irishman.
Not in your wildest Guinness-fueled fantasies could you have predicted this. And that came from a great tackle by Sean O'Brien, because there was a 4-2 outside him when he managed to get hold of Aaron Smith.
Well, I was going to say at 14-0 the All Blacks won't be particularly rattled, but I honestly believe they're going to be rattled now. Look at that, that was nobody home, because New Zealand are committing everything to attack there. And look at the Irish bench, they are absolutely overjoyed. Now, Ireland have laid a foundation on which they will be very disappointed if they allow New Zealand back into this game. New Zealand will come back in. They will score tries, but Ireland have just got to keep this intensity up.
This is a winning position from which you should, you should be able to defend. But again, come back to this. Make sure if you do concede points, so they are absolutely earned by the other side.
Absolutely right. Against any other side, you would say that 19-0 is a winning position. I think we know this All Blacks team too well.
It is impossible to describe the difference between the feeling at the Aviva Stadium last time out against Australia and what is happening right here and now. The first blip, because it comes off the post, unconverted, 19-0, Ireland lead.
Well, it may be impossible to, just the unusual Israel Dag trying to play the ball. It may be impossible to describe the difference, but it's explicable. And that's because the intensity that Ireland are showing in this game, compared with the Australia game, is just by several factors higher.
Ireland again go towards Devon Toney. He should be able to take this one. The challenge not there. Kieran Reid knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't offside. Conor Murray. One for Dave Kearney to chase. Israel Dag waits. Kearney arrives. Good counter-rucking by Ireland. That's out. Aaron Smith collared by Kearney D, who was so fast. Back to his feet. Reid hasn't had a look in yet, the great number 8. Cruden. goes back. Stephen Luatua. Cruden. There are numbers for Australia here. Ben Smith opts to kick when there was the overlap, and it falls to Rob Carney.
Play on!
Play on. Sam Whitelock, the second row. Ma'a Nonu. Ball is out. Play has to stop.
Well, as it turned out for Dave King, it was a good job that it wasn't kept in, because he wasn't in a position to... well, if that's gone his way and it wasn't out, then they've been the beneficiaries, because it was played himself into trouble.
Kieran Reid supplies ball from the line-out. Brodie Retallick, the second row, takes it on. The infield ball to Israel Dag. Sean Cronin was waiting for him. Jamie Heaslip again, busy around the fringes. Cruden, Luatua, Paul O'Connell with the tackle. Sam Whitelock. Sean Cronin tackles the big second row. Ma'a Nonu. Johnny Sexton, the tackler. Wyatt Crockett, the prop. Whitelock. Untidy pass, well picked up by Aaron Cruden. Luatua fires it infield. Brodie Retallick for the line. The All Blacks keeping the ball alive and creeping closer. Paunuina. Knock on by the All Blacks. Ireland have the scrum, and listen to the roar.
Well, hugely impressed with Aaron Cruden. He's looking very, very dangerous. He's looking for the offload all the time, and Ireland are really stretched to close him down, but they're doing it. They're maintaining that intensity, but they've really got to keep that intensity going. 2-on-1, stopping the offloads and stopping this All Black attack in its tracks.
Well, importantly, what they did there was they trusted in the defence. Very easy when you're under pressure just to keep a foot in too long, just to keep your hand on the ball and get spotted. What they did, especially Paul O'Connell twice there, just hands on long enough to slow the ball down, not long enough to get penalised.
Cian Healy. Sleight of hand by Aaron Cruden. Stephen Luatua keeps the ball alive.
Lovely piece of dexterity coming up. Yesterday at Wembley, the similar one to the Rugby League semi-final resulted in a try.
New Zealanders are involved in a couple of contests this weekend. The mighty All Blacks, 13 victories behind them this year, are trailing 19-0 at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin.
Time on. Go on in, Greg, you call this, okay? I'll watch you as well. Crouch. Bind. Set. Yes, 9.
Gordon Darcy. And the ball fires off Stephen Luatua. It hit the corner flag. It'll be an Ireland ball.
Went back, post in, 22.
22 dropout, not a line out. I was about to come to referee Brian Moore to sort that one out.
Everything at the moment is going Ireland's way.
It is, and they're forcing things. I mean, talking about playing a lot of rugby in your own 22, but in your own dead ball line. I mean, it's thrilling, nail-biting stuff, and only 23 minutes gone.
Great pickup by Sean Cronin. Paul O'Connell straight at Andrew Hall.
Out there too. It was
Conor Murray. Corey Jane collects. Israel Dag. Julian Sevilla. Ben Smith. McCall to Aaron Cruden. Devon Toner races up on his opposite number, Brodie Retallick. Ben Smith. Ben Smith, this is where they're so dangerous. Aaron Smith. Andrew Hall, collared by Rob Carney. Smith again. Corey James, Stephen Lua, Tua. Dave Carney hangs on. It's Tommy Bowe who hangs on to an ankle. Kieran Reid just to stoop and gather. Cruden, the little stab through. It's going to be a try for Julian Sevilla. The All Blacks are back in this game.
Well, it was a well-worked try. It was on from the moment that the Irish backs came up and were stood static. Having said that, it was a very intelligent play to see where the gap was for the kick.
Yeah, this has been coming a while now. Heretofore, Ireland have been able to snuff out the attack by closing the ball carrier down midfield. But that space and the width on this All Black attack, look at that. Ireland had 2 or 3 men out there, but All Blacks really had the numbers, and that little kick in behind, there was plenty of space in behind, and Sevilla, well, he knew what was coming. Aaron Cruden has been playing a really smart game so far.
Well, I mentioned earlier on the way Brian O'Driscoll had come up and the fact it had forced the New Zealanders back inside. This time, they solved it.
Aaron Cruden with his right foot adds the 2 points, but it was the little kick through with his left boot. Inch perfect.
I tell you, although not many people may link this, if you think about it, Ireland actually won the restart 22, and the kick that they put up was the first kick that either didn't go very long or landed with chasers on it, and from there New Zealand worked the position where from eventually they scored. You know, Ireland cannot afford, if they're going to do a kicking game, it either has to be behind and make players turn, or they've got to get men under the ball so that the New Zealanders do not have space.
Sexton, high and straight to Richie McCaw. Mike Ross helps Sean O'Brien bring the New Zealand captain down.
Stay black.
Okay.
The Carney brothers together. Sexton puts it back into the Dublin air. Tommy Bowe goes up, gets a finger to it. It's back on Ireland side. Peter O'Mahony. Open play, no offside. Conor Murray picks up the ball. The forwards arrive. Big Devon Toner at scrum half. Sexton, Gordon Darcy, Rob Carney, Sean Cronin. The All Blacks have fought their way out of trouble, but they could be back in it now. Paul O'Connell, hands off. Brodie Retallick, Michie McCaw is grounded as a tackler. Stabbed through by Johnny. Sexton, Israel, Dag puts it downfield, straight out of play.
Well, we'd love to have seen that ball go right just out of shot. Conor Murray's coming back to where the New Zealand defence are. There's Ireland had men and an overlap to the right. Paul O'Connell might have offloaded then, but Ireland, that ball needed to go right instead of left from there. But they've still got a good attacking position.
And you were onside as open play, not a problem.
Again, Ireland just collect their thoughts as they approach the line-out.
Quite right, because what they should plan to do from here, from this incursion into the All Black 22, is to come away with some form of score. Whether it's a drop goal, penalty, or whatever, to make sure it counts.
Peter O'Mahony is the jumper. Sean O'Brien, as usual, with the ball in his grasp. Good drive by the Irish forwards. They know that the All Blacks are trying to come through the middle. Conor Murray has to play it quickly. Seconds are counting. Away comes Murray. Clever pass to Dave Carney. Cian Healy takes on McCall and smashes him out of the way. Sexton. Brian O'Driscoll through Nanu. Mike Ross wasn't expecting it. Makes ground. The tight head prop. Everybody's involved for Ireland. Gordon Darcy brings play back the other way with black shirts hanging on to him. Sean O'Brien with the pickup. Conor Murray to Paul O'Connell. Devon Toner with him. Richie McCall not offside.
Lost now.
Ireland keep it close to the fringes and surge on again. They need a scrum half. Murray arrives. Sexton. Cian Healy. Sexton on his own. Devon Toner. Rob Carney tries to pull Black Hands out of the way.
Hands away. Don't touch.
O'Connell. Cian Healy standing start.
You can't go from there. Nobody's fault. Green forward. Green ball.
Green
no
ball,
foul.
that's the important thing.
It's fine. You can't get away from there. No problem.
Also important that Ireland didn't panic, didn't try to force a pass when it wasn't on. Turn the ball over by a knock-on. Same again here. They need to go through the phases, have the discipline to do so until something comes.
Conor Murray did well there not to panic. A ball coming out probably a little bit early for him. O'Driscoll again just going beyond the gain line, and that's what Ireland are doing. Anytime that they are taking that forward, they getting beyond the gain line and getting on the front foot.
There were two crucial interventions there in two breakdowns when ostensibly Ireland didn't have the numbers in there.
Everything's good until then, but as the ball comes, still not acceptable. Keep it up, please. No, stationary, stable. Just once the ball's in number 8's feet, keep it up. Yeah, well, you change with it.
Scrimmage.
To the middle, not off it. Time on.
Referee Brian telling the scrum half
I will
to put
do
it in
certainly.
straight.
It's fine telling him to do it. You've got to make sure he does.
We're all good until the ball's at the number 8's feet. Keep it there. Time on.
Wyatt Crockett, Andrew Hoare, Charlie Paumoina
Crouch.
in the All Black front row. This is Conor Murray.
Bind. Set. Yes, 9.
Straight through, and here comes the Irish surge. Murray, though, feeds Gordon Darcy. Penalty to Ireland. Offence at the scrummage.
Whip wheeling and down.
Down. 1.
Well, it's a very solid scrum by Ireland. Might like to have seen that ball go wide on the back into traffic, but looks like they've got a bit of an edge there, Brian. What do you think? Or is that just a one-off?
Well, New Zealand decided to wheel to try and counter that, and the important thing was that the Irish tried to stay square, and of course, if you look at that, why would Ireland want to wheel from that position? In fact, they didn't, and they got the benefit because they tried to scrummage straight. I thought there was a high tackle in midfield anyway.
Mike Ross, well, he was savaged for his scrummaging against Australia. Today, the individual is different. The collective performance is different.
Well, I think particularly in scrummaging, Eddie, yes, the collective is different. They seem to be scrummaging as one today.
The ball's come in, so I'm dealing with it clear and obvious, okay?
2 this time, 3 out of 4 for Jonathan Sexton. Ireland are into the 20s. Joe Smith, the coach, must be delighted. Only there is time to go, but Ireland lead 20-7, and that was the forward march.
Well, you see Ireland in line. Who was the first person to go out of perpendicular? It's the All Blacks. Joe Smith were really pleased by the fact that, as I said earlier, make sure that that period of possession resulted in some points.
Tommy Bowe takes the catch. The change of direction by Aaron Cruden. Conor Murray again on a lot of distance.
He's not a fear, he's gone back.
Richie McCaw can't catch it. Sean Cronin comes away with it. That's not Sean Cronin, he's out in the 3/4. More distance this time from Conor Murray. Well taken, Julian Savea.
Stay there, stay. Okay.
Johnny Sexton orders Dave Carney out of the way. Penalty against Ireland.
5. Moving across is no good. Just come out, okay? You're moving across within the 10. You have a penalty here or a scrum over there. So the penalty is here. 10 on. Penalty is here. Scrum is over there.
The offer, penalty or scrum? Major debate going on. It's not that difficult. Scrum.
Graham, we're going back to the right place here.
And that was for obstruction on Aaron Cruden
yes.
by Paul O'Connell. We didn't really see that.
Say again. Try and meet the line here. Okay.
Oh my word, we're going back for the penalty now.
Well, once it's chosen...
My fault, I told him the wrong place, we'll go with the penalty, okay? My fault, I told him the wrong place.
Oh, well, that's the explanation.
Yeah, Paul was offside, within the 10. Cheers, Graham.
He was offside, it wasn't obstruction. Paul O'Connell needed to retreat from that kick.
Well done, Rob Carney. Under pressure now from Corey Jane, but Ireland are back in the New Zealand half for the moment. Kieran Reid, Stephen Luatua, Israel Dag to Julian Savea, the try scorer. So dangerous, but Sean O'Brien with another tackle. Gordon Darcy, who has also tackled his socks off in this first.
Kept this one up as well.
Ireland put in, and another huge roar goes up.
Well, the intensity here, everybody is putting themselves forward and getting it. Gordon Darcy on 2 or 3 occasions is coming in and making tackles where you're expecting your forwards, your back row to make tackles. The work rate off the ball on behalf of this Irish team is a quantum different from what it was last week.
Well, one feeds on the other, doesn't it? The crowd atmosphere, the performance, cyclical. Each contributes, and of course, when you're in the forwards, if you see backs doing that, then that gives you an immense lift. As a back, when you see the forwards doing the business in the scrum, it gives you that. And all the components of the Irish game at the moment are going well.
Crouch.
3 and a bit minutes to manage until half time.
Set. Yes, 9. Didn't touch it. No.
Needs a foot on it. Safely delivered to Jamie Heaslip. Conor Murray drills it forward. It's a good place to be as the half draws to a close.
Intelligent play, realistic play, well executed.
Ireland very, very comfortable on their own ball. Half-time, Brian, do you reckon you might see the Franks brothers coming in just to try and attack this Irish scrum?
You may do, although the problem for the All Blacks at the moment is they're being out-muscled. They're losing the battle of the hit on the breakdown. They rarely do, but the Irish are getting enough numbers in. And as I said earlier on, a couple of times, even when they didn't have the contribution of one player has been enough, to make the difference. It's been exemplary stuff.
Kieran Reid hands it out towards Aaron Smith. Cruden. Fabulous catch by Brian O'Driscoll, who keeps going, crawling on all fours, but making ground. Paul O'Connell Offloads Tommy Bowe off the right wing. Gordon Darcy, what a first half he's had. Sean Cronin, he too has seen plenty of the ball. Mike Ross, a pillar at the scrimmage. Cian Healy bursts through a tackle. Healy has... It'll be interesting to see how many yards he has made, how many players he's just smashed out of the way. Tall Devon Toner. Paul O'Connell waits. Sean Cronin is there for him. Tries to under Sam Whitelock.
So again, Eddie, Ireland need to be patient and make sure they get into a position where at least they have a drop at goal, at the very least, to end this half. If not more.
To Toner.
Tackle made.
Paul O'Connell hangs onto it. Sam Whitelock wraps him up in the tackle. Darcy. Again, Darcy hops out of a tackle, delivers the pass. Sean O'Brien. Will we see a drop goal from Sexton? He's not in position yet. Cian Healy. Sexton. Darcy's dropped it. Tommy Bowe now, danger here. Well, Carney will have to tear back. He's got Corey Jane bearing down on him. Carney does get back. Julian Salea is there. Conor Murray. Brian O'Driscoll did well to get back to O'Driscoll. Upright, on two legs this time, makes ground.
Ireland want to get this off the field now.
Presents it. Sexton to touch. He hears it, and listen to this. This is the Aviva Stadium saying what they think about an extraordinary first half. Half-time, the interval. Ireland 22, New Zealand 7.
Well, there is very little to say about the Irish performance other than everything has been out of the top drawer. They must be exhilarated. The important thing is to be level-headed, to keep disciplined. There will be times when New